Well, Championship Sunday comes to a close. And like I predicted in my Championship Sunday preview vids, along with Instagram, I predicted, Chiefs versus Eagles in a Super Bowl 57 rematch. And like I have said, I wouldn't mind a Chiefs versus Eagles rematch of Super Bowl 57. Since Super Bowl 57 between those teams who won today was electric, you know. And I got to say, Josh Allen and the Bills tonight, they left it all out there on the field. But not to mention, Chiefs came up on top once again, moving Mahomes to 4-0 against Josh Allen in postseason play. I mean, like I say, beating Mahomes in the regular season may be one thing, but beating Mahomes in the playoffs is what I learned every single postseason is a whole different level. And that's what myself and other NFL fans found out once again, that beating Mahomes in the playoffs doesn't come as easy. Sure, Brady and Burrow were the only two AFC quarterbacks to beat Mahomes in the AFC playoffs, but all the others, just say they haven't been able to get it done against Mahomes. So, congratulations to Chiefs Kingdom, and of course, congratulations to Eagles Nation, who put an ass whooping on the Washington Redskins today by a score 55-23. God damn. The closest it was is 14-12 at one point. But man, I gotta say, turnovers really did Washington in. I gotta credit Washington and Jaden Daniels, man. No one expecting them to play in the NFC Championship game. Though they just happened to ran into a physical Eagles team who forced 3 turnovers, 2 fumble recoveries, and a pick. Which was caught by Quinyon Mitchell. And I gotta say, A.J. Brown had himself a game. Jalen Hurts, did his thing. Saquon once again did his thing, even though he didn't get his 200-yard rushing once again. But Saquon, scored 3 TDs, rushing tutties today. And along with Hurts scoring 2 tutties on that tush push, which is pretty tough to stop. And on a side note, I know, and I'm going to get off topic real quick. I know Saquon, Saquon Barkley, I know the Texans and Bears were strong suitors in this past off season, but unfortunately they both lost off on the sweepstakes since the Eagles, inked them to a 3-year, $37 million deal, which put him behind a very aggressive Eagles O-line, which is a lot better than the Texans O-line, which sucked, truth be told, because even if the Texans were to get Saquon Barkley, it wasn't a guarantee that Saquon get his 2K yards rushing behind that Texans O-line, because of how bad the O-line played and how bad the Bobby Slowick scheme was, Just thought I wanted to throw that out there. But back to the Eagles and Redskins game. God damn. Straight up belt to ass. And, game was, when they scored that touchdown and made it 41-23, I knew right then and there it was a wrap. It was definitely a wrap, knowing that, Philly just straight up took their soul. Straight up never gave it back. Golly. I figured it would be a little bit more competitive, but god damn. They straight up showed no mercy. Straight up showed no mercy on the Washington Redskins. The reason why I say Redskins, because, Commanders, don't sound right. Need to go ahead and change their name back to the Redskins. It's part of my side note. But back to what I was talking about. I mean, hey, I mean, Philly defense had their moments. I get it. But yeah, they might have had a hard time stopping Zach Ertz. But man, that Eagles defense straight up made plays. Forced, two fumbles forced. I think on both on special teams or one or the other. I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, that Eagles defense, man, is straight up physical as hell. Straight up physical, especially Jalen Carter, man. I mean, yeah, Jordan Davis got him a sack, but that Jalen Carter, man, that man know how to cause havoc on opposing linemen. Straight up getting in opposing players' heads. And Cooper DeJean is a baller too, along with Quinyon Mitchell. I mean, even as rookies, I mean, man, them boys gonna be stars going forward, long term. No, which is like me saying that Kamari Lassiter and Kalen Bullock are gonna be stars in the making going forward. Assuming those four players I mentioned, two on the Texans and two on the Eagles, they'll undergo sophomore slumps come 2025. But man, that Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell ain't nothing to be fucked with, hands down. And especially in Zach Bond, man, the most slept on linebacker in the Eagles linebacking core. Who is, I mean, if I'm Eagles front office, they got to resign that dude. They got to resign Zach Bond, big time. Can't afford to let that man walk. But truth be told, man, I'm happy for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles for going back to the Super Bowl. I mean, it'd be nice to see him, get his redemption against the Chiefs. With him and Saquon in the same backfield, I mean, I get it. 57 Super Bowl was an instant classic. Instant classic is Super Bowl 57 between the Chiefs and the Eagles. But man, I could see Super Bowl 59 being a bigger instant classic for sure. I mean, another instant classic in the making in 2 weeks. And if I was to pick who wins Super Bowl 59, I mean, I want to say Philly, but I want to go with Kansas City with this one, in which I'll explain more and when I make my Super Bowl prediction video, only because I want to see the former Houston Texan DeAndre Hopkins finally get his ring. I mean, he's still talented. He's getting up there in age, but I mean, I just want to see Hopkins finally get his ring. Truth be told. And yes, I'll still buy his jersey, but in the Texans though. I mean, I'll still rock his jersey in Texans version, but I mean, rooting for the Chiefs in Super Bowl 59 it's like me rooting for Hopkins to finally get his ring as a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. Just rooting for him. I mean, just saying, as a Texans fan, go ahead, get that ring, D-Hop. Go ahead, get that ring. Only because he was a long-time Texan, before, getting shipped off to Arizona in the 2020 offseason, But, like I say, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs and congratulations to the Eagles. And as far as in Washington, I mean, future is bright in Washington. Assuming they keep Cliff Kingsbury as their OC. Oh yeah, and of course they got to make some splashes in the upcoming off season. I mean, the future is pretty bright in Washington. It's not the end of the world because truth be told, no one expected Washington to beat Tampa Bay and Detroit, the top seed Detroit Lions at that. I mean, nobody expected them to go to the NFC title game. Not one bit. Hell, even I didn't expect Washington to go to the NFC title game. But like I say, they just happened to run into a much more physical Eagles team, which, delivered the belt of ass today on Championship Sunday. But I'm going to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if, the Bills won today, along with the Redskins. You know, if it means the Bills stopping the Chiefs shot at the three-peat, which is unsuccessful at this point. But yeah, just want to put my 2 cents in on this recap on Championship Sunday. So there's that, you know. Once again, congratulations to the Chiefs and Eagles. Man, I'm looking forward to watching this Super Bowl 57 rematch for sure. You know, which is the real game, the real deal right there. You know, since for Eagles fans gonna treat this like a true revenge game from Super Bowl 57, where every point counts. But hey, till my next video, LTH checking on up out of here, 713 to Bio City, and I'm gone. Peace.